This video is over the test 1-2 review for pre-AP students. So, number 1, which best describes all possible classification for the following set of numbers? We have 0, 4, 25, and 32. So, a counting number, or a natural number, they're the same, one and the same. I can count it with my fingers or toes. Can you count to 0? No, there's nothing to count. So we know it cannot be a counting number. So D is out. B is also out. Integers. Integers can be positive or negative numbers. They cannot be a decimal or fraction. These are positive, so it can be an integer. So it could be 2. Here's it can be 4 only. So I guess C is the only one. Oh, and 0, 4, 25, 32 are whole numbers. And can these numbers be written in decimal or fraction form? Let's see. I can write 4 as a decimal as $4. I can write 25 in fraction form as 25 divided by 1 is 25. So that's why it's C. 0 is a whole number, not a counting number. Number 2, 2 through 5. Classify these numbers as whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, or none. Some numbers may be classified in more than one category. Let's see. A whole number has to be positive, so it cannot be a whole number for negative 42. It can be an integer, but can negative 42 be written in decimal form? Yes. Someone owes $42 or $42.00. So it can be an integer or rational number. Next one, 14 and 7/10. That's in decimal or fraction form, so it's a rational number. You know what? I need to use a different pen color so you can see what I am doing. So dot, dot. 3. 3 is a number. It's a whole number because whole numbers are positive. 3 is an integer. It could be positive or negative as long as it's not a decimal. And it could be a rational number because 3 can be written in decimal form. And what about this one? If I have 5 and I want to divide it among 0 groups, can you divide 5 cookies or $5 among 0 groups? No, there's nobody to give it to. There's no group. So that's why there is no answer. It's called undefined. 6 through 8. Complete the following statement. The absolute value of 17 is 17. What is absolute value again? In case you have forgotten what absolute value is how far from 0. The distance from 0 is 17 units from 0. So how far from 0? What is the opposite of negative 108? 108 or positive 108. Next one, the absolute value of both what two numbers is equivalent to 40. So the absolute of 40 is equal to 40. And the absolute of negative 40 is also 40. So 40 and negative 40. 6 through 8. Number 9 is the absolute value of point G. Where's point G? Negative 6. Is the absolute value of point G, or negative 6, is more than the point L. What's point L? Point L is 3. So what's the absolute value of negative 6? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The distance is 6. Remember, distance is always positive. So yes, it is. Absolute value is the distance to 0. Number 10, which number line is correctly labeled? Well, in a number line, it goes from least to greatest. The least numbers are found on the left side. The greater numbers are found on the right side. So let's see if this is it. I see half is in the center right here. I like that. Ooh, half is right here. Well, that's not good, so I know G's out. Half is always more closer to 2. It should be in the halfway point. Well, I know that's not half. So it's either F or J. All right, let's look at the difference. We have 1, 1 and 1/10, 1 and a half. What's half of a dollar? Let's think about it. 50 cents. Or 1 and 5/10. This is 1 and 8/10. If I add a hundreds place here, it's also 1 and 80/100. So how can 1 and 8/10 or 1 and 80/100 be less than 1 and 5/10 or 1 and 50/100? F is out. Do you know what 1/4 is? In case you forgot, can I build this to the hundreds place value times 25? So it's 1 and 25 hundredths. This is 1 and a half. 1 and 2/3 is 1 and 6600. That keeps repeating in case you do not know why. Can a third go into 100 easily? It's compatible. No, it is not. So we have to divide it. 2 divided into 3 groups. Can 3 go in 2? No, 0 times. Annex a decimal 0. Can 3 go in 20? 6 times. 2 is the remainder. Annex another 0. Can 3 go in 20? 6 times. I believe it's repeating. That's why it's 1 and 66 hundredths. We have 1 and 8 tenths or 80 hundredths. I like a J. 11. Mr. Ronda's class orders rational numbers on a number line. Richard draws cards with 4 rational numbers from a bag. He placed Richard numbers on the number line above. Label each number above the number. Okay. So we have 610. That's on the positive. It's going to be on the right-hand side. So I'll put it right here. -4 and 2500. That's negative, so go on the left side. So I go back -1, back -2, back -3, back -4. So it's going to be somewhere right there, -4 and 2500. 3/4, it's positive, so it's going to right, but it's less than 1 whole. So would it be closer to 0 or closer to 1? Well, 2/4 is half, so it's a little closer to 1. And 3/4, in case you do not know the decimal, can 4 go into a hundredths place value? Times 25 times 25, it's 7,500, which is more than 6 tenths or 60 hundredths. Next one, -2, so we go left of 0, -1, -2, somewhere right here, -2 and 3 tenths. 12, draw a number line model for 3 times -2. How would you say this in word form? 3 groups of -2, 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups of -2, or 3 jumps of -2, -6. Or another way, if you don't want to do a number line, we know it's 3 groups. You have 3 groups of -2. That's why it's -6. Another way, this is how I like doing it, but it's true mathematics on this one. I highlight that a little. The way I do it is 3 times 2 is 6, opposite, -6. 13, 14, 15, oh, sorry, 13. Answer each question. I'm going to highlight this. All right, so let's answer each one of these questions. Let's use green. 2 times 4 is 8, opposite, -8. Oh, I forgot to highlight this. My bad. 2 times 4 is 8, opposite is -8. 2 times 4 is 8, opposite of a negative is a positive. Or, some of you in class prefer it this way. 2 groups of -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This negative right here means you do the opposite. The opposite of -8 is +8. And last but not least, 2 times 4 is 8. So which expression are equivalent? These two, these two. Number 14, 15, 16, 17, just solve. You know what? I'm going to get my highlighter out for the multiplying and dividing. Highlight this, and that's it. All right, let's answer each question now. How many 3s go into 36 12 times? Opposite, -12. 3 times 4 is 12. Opposite of a negative is a positive. If you do not like it that way, which I have kids who say, I don't like it that way, fine. What's 3 groups of -4? That's -12. The opposite of it is +12. Next one, let's go back to number 15. I don't like subtracting. Can you turn the subtraction into an addition? In case you forgot, you keep the -4. You do the opposite of a subtraction as addition. Opposite of -16 is +16. So -4 with +16. This becomes 0 pair is 12. However, what could I draw this? In case you forgot, you start with negative. Let me use a different pen color. Let's use blue. You start with -4. Let me use blue. How can I show -16 by keeping the value of -4? You're supposed to draw 16 negatives and 16 positives, which are called zero pairs. I take away these -16 away, so you have -4 plus 16. Hey, that's the same thing I got there. So you could draw it, or you could just do the opposite subtraction, it's addition. If you get rid of the -16, what do you have left? +16. And last but not least, 17. Oh gosh, I'll have to draw 21 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Plus 9 negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These become zero pair. What do you have left? Oh, goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 positive. Another way, I do it mentally myself. Do you have more positive, more negative? More positive by how many extra? By 12 extra. 18. Mr. Gary purchases a new freezer. Before he can store food in it, the freezer must be cool to -18 degrees. So it needs to be -18 degrees. The current temperature in the freezer is 21 degrees. So 21 degrees. Got it. It needs to be cooled down a lot. How many degrees will the temperature need to drop before it cools to -18 degrees? So how much does it need to go drop down by? Many ways to answer it. You could use absolute value. So 21 to 0 is 21 away. How far is -18 to 0? 18 degrees. So it needs to drop 39 degrees. If you wrote it as the integer, it could be -39. If you wrote it in word form, it needs to drop 39 degrees. Another way, yeah, so that's, or another way to do it is find the difference between the high temperature, 21, minus the low temperature, -18. Do you remember how to subtract integers? I'm not going to draw this. I really don't want to, but I could. But I'm not going to draw it. So you keep the 21, turn the subtraction to addition. The opposite, if you get rid of all the -18, you have 18 positives. So 21 plus 18, it needs to drop 39 degrees. Number 19, the temperature in Denver has been dropping 4 degrees every hour. How many degrees will the temperature have dropped after 5 hours? So imagine the clock, it's, I don't know, 3 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, it dropped 5 degrees. At 5 o'clock, it dropped 5 degrees. 6 o'clock, it dropped another 5 degrees. So it says 5 hours. So that means 7 o'clock, it dropped 5 degrees. 8 o'clock, it dropped 5 degrees. So -5, -5, -5, -5, -5. Wait. Oh, stop. Hold the horses. Hold the horses. I did not read the question properly. I am insulted by that. I apologize. Erase, 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 erase. It has been dropping 4 degrees every hour. How many temperatures did it drop after 5 hours? So drop each hour 4. So 4 plus 4, -4 plus -4 plus -4 plus -4 plus -4 is -20. Or -4 times 5 is -20. I apologize. 20. Mano, which means hand in Spanish, plays the flute. She plans to practice 3 halves as many days as last year, which does not represent a change in Mano's practice time. So this is 3 cut in half. So what is 3? That's half of 3. 3 cut in half. 2 goes in 3. Oh, wait. This is correct. But you want to know it goes 1 time. How do I get rid of this remainder? Annex a decimal 0. 2 goes in 10 5 times. So 1.5 is 1 5. Well, you see, because I did 3 divide 2, so C is not the same. 21. How do you know that all 3 of these are equivalent? many ways. How many 20s go into 57? 2 times. Oh, that's 40. Remainder is 17. How can I write this in fraction form? 2 and 17. What's the denominator? 20. Oh, and then can I build 20 to 100 place value times 5 times 5? So that's 2 and 8500ths. Or I can have 2 and 8500. I can simplify by dividing by 5 and get 1720. Many ways. 22, 23, name a fraction less than 1/4. So here is a fraction circle. So name a fraction less than 1/4. Let's say 1/10. Because 1/4 is 20, this is 100%, is 25%. A quarter, if it's $1, 1/4 of it is 25 cents. So 1/10 times 10 times 10 is 10 hundredths, which is less than 1/4. And a last question, please put these rational numbers from greatest to least, greatest least. Let's see, well, this is 5/10 is half. This is more than half. What's half of 16 is 8, so it's more than half. This is barely more than half. So you know what? I think Miss Kudek's. Wait, first of all, so I know Quan is the least. Actually, greatest least. So let me erase that. So I know Quan. Again, I'm using number sets to solve this. I'm not really going to do the math. I don't know why this is an erase. There it is. I know Quan should be the least amount. So B's out. See that. So it's 5/10. This is barely more than half. So I think Kudek would be down here. So, well, at least D. Why is Peter the greatest of all? 3/4. Well, you know what? I found a common denominator. 16, 16, 16, 16. Build this to 8, 8, 16, 11, 16, times 2, times 2, 10, 16, 12, 16. That's why Peter is the greatest, then Target, and then Kudek and Quan. And that is our test review. Please use this to study. Good luck, guys and gals.